Yo, what's up, guys? Back with another video, and today I'm going to be telling y'all my predictions for these Week 9 games, I think. Yeah. So for this game, clearly Indiana is better than UCLA, no matter how much UCLA has improved since getting that new head coach. Indiana, I don't think UCLA is like a top team now. Yeah, they got good. They might be decent. Maybe like a 5 out of 10 team, 6 out of 10. But I just can't ever see them beating a Penn State. No, that's not a big win. They only won by 5 in a shootout anyway. And Northwestern held Penn State to like 21, I think. But yeah, I don't think UCLA's that good of a team. Yeah, they improved, but they're not that good now. They're not going to beat number 2 Indiana out here, who I think is number 2 also. I don't see them doing that. It's just unrealistic to me. If they do, yeah, I guess I was wrong. But I just can't see it happening. I got Indiana 45, UCLA 27. Look, I know Oklahoma, they were good. They were. Alabama, that's like saying Alabama. Well, no, it's not. Because Alabama only looked bad 1 week. Oklahoma looked good for a few weeks. But John Mateer, he's not the same. They only put up 26 to South Carolina, which I feel like if they're that good of an offense, you put up more versus them. I can't remember. Dylan Stewart, I don't know. I really didn't watch that game because, I don't know. I did pick South Carolina at first. And my predictions will be out. Or maybe before this video by the time this is uploaded or after it. I don't know. But they'll be out, and y'all see what I predicted. I had a losing record on it. But I did change my predictions after I already made the video. So, technically, but it's alright because I still have a really good record throughout this season. But yeah, off topic. But Ole Miss, I see them beating Oklahoma. Ole Miss isn't a bad team, and if they lose to Oklahoma, it's because they just came off of a shootout loss to Georgia. And Oklahoma, I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't think they're as good as they were before Mateer got hurt. So, yeah, give me Ole Miss for this. Okay, so I could see this game maybe going either way, but I have South Florida as a 60% winning chance, and Memphis is a 40% because, Memphis, they did terrible versus, at least on the defensive side, versus UAB. They got it ran on them. They got it passed on them. They could not stop them. It looks like. I didn't watch the game because, dude, y'all can't call me box watcher. Why am I watching a game with an undefeated Memphis that is ranked versus UAB, a nobody? I know who UAB is, but they're still a nobody. You know what I mean? I'm not watching that. That's just not even enjoyable at that point. UAB just got the upset. I mean, it's not. It's kind of like, I mean, nobody really thought UAB was going to beat Memphis. That just wasn't even on the table. Why would I watch that? But from the stats, it looks like they got it. I mean, it looks like Memphis couldn't even move the ball. I mean, it couldn't stop UAB from moving the ball. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what it looks like to me. And if they can't stop UAB from moving the ball on them, how do y'all expect them to stop South Florida when South Florida has put up, 40-plus points on every team except Miami? And that's what I think, 40-plus, 30-plus, something like that. That's pretty impressive. And Miami's a super good team, so I'm not going to degrade them too much for it. And I just don't think Memphis is going to stop it, and Byron Brown and all that. So give me South Florida for it. In a little shootout. I think Alabama really has this game in the bag unless the defense just falls apart and lets the North Sellers run all over them, which, it's a possibility with how inconsistent this new Alabama team has been from the start of last season, or from week 5 of last season to week 1 of this season, I guess. So we're going to see what happens this game. I don't see Alabama really losing this game unless something, crazy just happens. Like I said, the defense just falls apart completely, doesn't play defense, doesn't contain Lenore Sellers. He runs wild on them, and then the offense is also getting stopped, or they're just not scoring with South Carolina as much as they are, and that's only possibility. And I would say South Carolina has a 25% chance of a win. Alabama has a 75% chance just because of Alabama's history of not being able to stop a mobile quarterback. But clearly I still think Alabama has this game in the bag, and they move on to 7-1. So I got BYU in this. 27-24 is very valid. Probably could go either way. I don't know. The odds favor Iowa State by 2.5 points. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I read it wrong maybe. But, yeah, I know record doesn't matter when the game comes on. But, they favored Iowa State over BYU, who's undefeated. I mean, it's not unreasonable. There's probably a reason there that I'm just not getting, really. I mean, there is a reason. They're only 5-2, but I don't know. This is kind of an even matchup, but you got to take the team that's undefeated over the team that's 5-2. I mean, I didn't expect to see Iowa State being favored. It's a little valid, but not at the same time. But I got BYU. Illinois reminds me of the Indiana team last season, who was still ranked, but couldn't beat the big teams. They get blown out or something. But Illinois they've been by 53 to Indiana and by 18 to Ohio State, right? 18. Could have been more. And Indiana winning by 53 and Ohio State only winning by 18. Does that? I don't know. Indiana has an edge, or they can be in the talk about being the number one team. It's valid to me if you have them there. I don't got a big problem with it. It's fair, it's cool, but I just got to have Ohio State at number one right now. I don't see a point in not until they lose to Indiana. They don't play in the regular season, I don't think, but in the Big Ten Championship, which I think I will see that matchup. But, yeah, I got Washington for this, 34-28. I think Illinois is going to finally keep it close. Well, I was going to say with a ranked team, but Washington isn't ranked. So, this is kind of why I have it close. But they're going to keep it a little bit closer. This could turn into a 2-score game, but not like a 30-point game. But I still think Washington's going to win. Illinois, they choke in the big games. Washington, it doesn't matter that they're unranked. I think Washington should actually be 23 instead of Illinois. That's not just me. If you ask some others, they probably agree. But yeah, I think Washington is a little bit better than Illinois. I think they're going to win. All right, give me Vanderbilt for this. Vandy, even though they're number 10, I don't mean, when I say they're underrated, I don't mean literally everybody. I mean, they're just underrated. I still see people commenting and replying to me on comments talking about Alabama's only good wins were against Georgia and Tennessee. That's how you... And then, I'm like, see, that just writes casual all over you. Because he's probably one of the ones that goes, it's just Vandy. It's Vandy. They're not nothing. In Missouri, they're never talked about a lot, so you really have to know football to know that Missouri's not that bad. And you can tell if you don't know football, you're not going to know Missouri's that good. So, the people who tell y'all it's just Vandy and don't count Missouri as a good win, just know that they don't know ball. Just don't even argue with them, okay? It's not worth it. They don't know what they're talking about. They're casuals. Vanderbilt is a really good team this year. I think they're a playoff contender. They might go 9-3 and just miss it, But even if they do, when does Vanderbilt ever do that? I think that's really good, but I think next season they're going to lose Pavia and it's going to go back downhill, going back to 6-6, 5-7, and worse. But yeah, I think they beat Missouri 34-30. Missouri, I think they're decent, but I don't think they're that good. Their quarterback situation, it's terrible. Bubula is bad. He's bad. He kind of reminds me of Drew Aller a little bit. So, it's bad. Man, I really pray on Texas's downfall again, even though they're not doing good when you know football. Even 5-2, even if you are casual, it's not like they're outstanding. They're 5-2. But Texas, they're not that good of a team. They're actually pretty bad for a team that's 5-2 ranked. And Mississippi State could win this game, but I don't see it happening with Texas's defense and Mississippi State's defense, who couldn't stop Texas A&M. Florida, 23 is not a lot. Well, I take that back. They couldn't stop Tennessee, who has a top offense, and Texas A&M, who also has a top offense. So it's valid, but Texas, they could lose, and I hope they do. But I have Texas for this. So, yeah. I don't care that this game is a night game at LSU. I don't think when you're this good of a team, or when you're this much better than a team, I don't think that atmosphere really matters. Florida State, Alabama, yeah, you can say what you want. I don't think it was because of the atmosphere. I think it was because Alabama just wasn't tackling, couldn't play. I mean, that wasn't the atmosphere's fault. Clearly, because it was the play style. It wasn't like they couldn't hear the snap of the ball. They just weren't good at the time. So, and I think Texas A&M is a lot better than LSU, or a pretty good bit better than LSU. I could be wrong, but I think that Texas A&M will have this game by at least, and this is just because of LSU's defense, at least by a touchdown. If it's closer, okay, I can't predict how good LSU's defense is going to play. They play bad against Vandy. Who says they can't play bad against Texas A&M? I don't know if they will. I don't know if they won't. I mean, only time will tell, and only the game will tell. So 24-14, I think, is very realistic, very valid. No one should have a problem with this except LSU fans.